Just wait. The host of Get Business Credit YouTube channel is about to go live on YouTube Cast to answer all your business credit building questions. Our host, Joshua Van Horn, is here for you during these tough times. But together, as we unite as one, we will get through this and build and rebuild business credit. Subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already done so. Josh is about to take YouTube by storm, and you don't want to miss what's coming.
Hey, what is up, everybody? It's Josh with the Get Business Credit YouTube channel. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit delayed, but can you guys hear me okay? Let's wait for a few more people to come in. 1 second, you guys. One second, you guys. I just want to share this out to everybody else real quick. Give me a moment. And then we'll get right into it, you guys. But you guys go ahead and put any questions about business credit that you guys may have. All right, you guys, what's going on? How you guys all doing? Give a couple more seconds for more people to tune in. I just sent out a blast to let everybody know that we are live right now. But if you guys are just tuning in, I want you guys to know something that you should already know, but it's something new. And that is, Dan's here actually right now. Let me just show you guys. You have the most interesting name. May I ask where you are from? Well, actually, I don't know if that's him or not. But anyway, so you guys can see -officesupply.com. That's something you guys should sign up for immediately because it actually reports to Experian every month on the 10th. So if you sign up now, it's a little too late, but you should still sign up because it's a net 60. Okay. And I think okay, Dan's here. Okay, that was Dan. All right. So let's bring Dan up real quick. Dan, hang on 1 second. I'm going to send you the link real quick and you can pop up real quick if you don't mind and just tell a little bit about Office Supply. One second. All right, Dan, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the description below or in the chat area. You can just pop right up, okay? This live is not going to be very long. So when you get that, just kind of go ahead and click on that and you should be able to pop right in. Derek, Maurice, we'll be able to answer that here in a moment. Daniel, you there?
Hey, Josh, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm okay.
I
I'm
am
good.
well.
So
Good to see you.
good to see you as well. Do you see that comment here? I'll put it on the screen. Can you read that and kind of answer that? From Derek Maurice?
Okay, so Derek, if you were reported today, when you signed up, you should have received a confirmation email from us.
Yeah, you emailed. I had a couple students, like 4 or 5 students, send me a text and say that they got an email from you saying that you reported or whatever. And that's nice that you do that because most people don't. Most businesses don't, you know?
It's one of the unique features that we have in our platform. And right, right.
Well, for
Yeah,
those that are just tuning in, Dan here, he is the founder and CEO of Dash Office Supplies. So if you guys have seen me promoting or talking about Dash Office Supplies, the person below me is the founder and CEO. And I can confirm he does have a data furnishing license. I already confirmed it before I started promoting Dash Office Supplies, but he also confirmed it today and sent everything as well to me because today was the reporting date. So if you guys have any questions for him, by all means, put it in the comment section right now and he'll answer those questions why we have him here right now. But with all that being said, Dan, go ahead and take it over and kind of explain again kind of what we did on the interview, but kind of explain about Dash and
okay,
how you came about and everything.
absolutely. So Dash Office Supply is a business my wife Leslie and I began. And it was really born out of the recognition that there's just an awful lot of uh, for lack of a better term, a lot of scams out there in the business credit world, where companies offer to report a trade line, and in exchange for that, they're going to charge you a tremendous amount for merchandise, probably money that you can't afford to just plunk down in order to get a trade line reported. It shouldn't be something that costs your business so much money that you're having to make really difficult choices about.
It's like your light bulb here. You have a light bulb for $9.99. These other starter vendors would be charging $69.99 or $49.99 for that same light bulb.
Sure. Well, and if you look at that light bulb example, that 9.99 is the suggested retail. Our members only pay $6.29 for that light bulb. But then right above it, you'll also notice that
Maybe
there's
you should
a
flip that
rebate.
around. Maybe you should flip the coding around and put because I didn't realize it until you said that.
Yeah, and we
Even
can
when I
certainly
did the
look at that.
video earlier, I did a video earlier. The video I told you about, I already
Hmm.
recorded like a 10-minute, 9-minute video or so, and I was mentioning the red prices.
Well,
So
that's okay.
now that you said that,
Yeah, the
now I
red
know.
prices we typically pull from Amazon or other major discount retailers. So those prices, if you go check for yourself, those MSRP prices are actually fairly accurate for what you're going to find that on Amazon or Target or any other online retailer. And then the price over to the left, it says you pay. That's the price you as a Dash Office Supply member pay. But one better than that, if you look up above it in green where it talks about rebate, you'll also get that rebate discount on that item when you pay your invoice on or ahead of time. And that comes back to you in the form of a cash rebate that you can apply to future invoices or future purchases. So there are a lot of different ways that we help our members save money. And so we really wanted to bring some honesty and some fairness to the game. We wanted to do this in a way that enables small business owners, especially in today's economic climate, to be able to build business credit and put some money back in their pocket on items that they buy every day. To answer Derek's question, and I hope I pronounced your name right there, Derek. Uh, your confirmation email should have contained the trade line information. It should have told you that you were approved for a net 60 account. and then it would also give you your credit limit in that email. So unfortunately, I can't hop off of the screen to go check that for you in real time. I would normally be able to do that, but I'm at home, so I don't have that ability right now. But certainly, if you just joined and you also just got reported today, then congratulations. Uh, our policy in the past, prior to the beginning of the year, was requiring a 60-day period before we would actually report. We decided to rethink that, and so now we report in real time once a month on or near the 10th of each month. So whatever business day is closest to the 10th, that's when we report. And so we reported to Experian and Cortera today. And one of the nice features for our customers is when you sign into your account in the dashboard, you'll see a feature in there that tells you what's being reported on your business each month. So you can see a history of what we're reporting on your trade line with us every single month. And we just thought that that would be a helpful feature so that people can see for themselves. Uh-oh, looks like I lost Josh. Still over here, Josh? Stop. No. Behave. Hello? I seem to have lost Josh somewhere. So, Josh, I'm going to hand this back over to you at this point, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to your guests tonight. Hope to see many of you sign up with our service, and we're always open to suggestions. If there's anything new that you think we can be offering or something better that we can provide, please let us know. We do take that into account because we are always looking to improve our service. So, with that, Josh, thank you so much. Appreciate the time, and have a good rest of your evening.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You disappeared on me.
Yeah, and I don't know if they heard what you said or not. I'm not
I
sure,
don't
but
know either.
I have two connections and it just froze. So I
Yeah,
just switched connections.
I
But the
gotcha.
last thing I heard was you saying about someone just signing up. So I'm not
Correct.
quite
Yeah.
sure until I do the replay if they heard that or not. I'm not sure because it's my connection.
Yeah. So what I explained to Derek, the person that posted that comment to you about reporting, evidently he just joined today and also had the benefit of being reported today because we reported all of our active accounts at about 3 o'clock Mountain Time today. So everybody that was a current active member as of 3 p.m. Mountain Time today was reported. So sounds like he joined today, was reported today, and just may not have noticed that email from us with his information in it. So
No, he said right away. That's the first comment. He said you guys emailed him.
yep.
So I mean that's good. So you guys, for those that are just tuning in, we have like 25 people right now. For you guys that are just tuning in, and a lot of you guys are probably shy to say something, but it's very rare that I bring somebody on. For one, you guys know that because I really don't endorse people very often. But I've confirmed the Daniel reports directly to Experian. In fact, just leveled up one more. Look at that interview that I did with Dan last week, I believe it was, right, Dan? I think last week.
Yeah, it was I think 10 or
Early
11
last
days
week
ago,
or
something like that.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. About a week and
So
a
if,
half. Yeah.
so if you look at the pinned comment, you'll see the pinned comment is from Experian Business Credit. So I purposely pinned that Experian, and that's the president, Hailey, the president of Experian, commenting. So, what more proof do you guys need? And just because Dan may report today, your trade line doesn't mean it's going to get instantly implemented. It takes a couple of days, so give it some time. So, like Derek and others, give it a couple of days, because just because he sends in the data doesn't mean the second he sends it in, it's going to be on the report. That's not how it works. That's not how data furnishing works. So
And if
give
I
it a
can,
couple of days. But yeah, go ahead, Daniel.
if I can add to that, one other note, you know very well yourself that every one of the business credit bureaus has its own guidelines for what it does with the data that it receives from its data furnishers. And in some instances, with newer businesses, or if there's something in their algorithms catches their attention, they may delay reporting it. They may choose not to actually publish it, but it's still there. The data is still there. And I had that happen last week where a customer had joined our service several months ago, and she
Oh,
sent me.
you mean, sorry to interrupt there. You mean, and I know this very well, I think what you're about to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but a Ben, since you're only reporting to Experian right now, and Experian's the hardest one to get a data furnishing license, I congratulate you for even having that data furnishing license. But one thing I do know about Experian is, with it being under a 1-year-old data furnishing license, which would be you, right? Because you haven't had it over 1 year and your business is fairly new. And then on top of that, if you're reporting fairly new businesses, and if some of those that you're reporting have 0 trade lines and you're reporting, then that can trigger, I don't want to say a fraud alert, but kind of like the same type thing when it comes to like personal credit, like a fraud alert. And that's because Experian values their data to make sure it's not compromised or being manipulated, unlike Dun Bradstreet. Before, it's like you just pay $30 and you can get any trade line reported, even if it's fake. So
Yeah.
things are delayed a little bit. So
So there are a lot of criteria that the bureaus put in place that, unfortunately, we as data furnishers have no control over. They don't tell us anything. You know, we submit our trade line data and we get a confirmation back. Yes, we got it. Yes, we processed it, and that's all we hear as a furnisher. So sometimes it can make things difficult for us. But I had a customer about a week ago who was concerned whether or not her trade line with us was reporting. And she actually sent me her copy of her Experian report. She belongs to one of their premium services. And what I found was interesting was I pulled her Experian report as a data furnisher, and her report only
it's not
had
the
5
same.
trade lines on it. The copy that I got had 12 trade lines. So there were trade lines on her Experian report that she didn't even know were reporting. So
Yeah, and that's correct. And even for, so there's like 4 different plans as underwriters that get with Experian, and it depends what plan you pay for, how much you see. And there's bare minimum, and I have that with my other company as an underwriter. So you can see kind of like a risk rating for trade lines that Experian is accepting, say from you, but maybe they're not 100%. They're not standing 100% behind. So
correct.
there's certain trade lines that they're probational period.
Correct. So
And yours could be that. I don't know until I look, but that just, that's how, like the US government, for instance, they now for SBA loans, they don't look at Dun & Bradstreet anymore. Before they did. Prior to a year and a half ago, only Dun & Bradstreet. Now it's only Experian.
yeah, it was a
So
federal law for a long time that if you wanted to do any type of government contract work or have access to government loans or government grants, you had to have a DUNS number from Dun and Bradstreet. So they
Well,
were the
yeah, they
gold
just
standard.
changed that about a little over a year ago. They changed that
Right.
into
They
their
they
own. They have their own
they
system.
rescinded that law and went to an in-house platform with the GSA within the federal government. So that's really changed a lot for Dun and Bradstreet and made them not quite the gold
Well, it
standard
really
anymore
wasn't a
for that.
law. It was just kind of like a requirement that they had in place. But now the federal government has kind of changed their ways because of the video that I released in the end of 2022, where Dun& Bradstreet got fined $111 million after they went public because of the manipulation. And I made a whole hour-long video explaining what they did, and I was the whistleblower. But then I got they came at me full force because I told the truth.
Been round
So
and round, been round and round with the Dun and Bradstreet attorneys myself, so I know what you mean. So Derek has a question here. He asked me if we have a plan to add any other business credit bureaus. The answer is actually yes. We have just begun the process of onboarding with Equifax. I will caution people to understand that takes time. The onboarding process with any of these bureaus is
so
months and months.
yeah. So with Equifax, and now that I've kind of dealt with Daniel a bit, and I can trust him and everything, I'm going to try to assist him to kind of fast track the Equifax data furnishing part, as well as credit safe, because I have certain contacts, right? I'm actually a data furnisher with Equifax and credit safe. And one thing that I found kind of funny a bit is when me and Daniel talked a couple weeks ago, he's saying that Equifax is a headache to deal with. I find, even though I'm the only one endorsed by Experian, I don't meet the requirements to be a data furnisher for Experian, even though I'm on a first name basis with the president, the vice president, the president of marketing at Experian. However, I just don't meet the requirements. I don't have enough accounts for my mentorship, right? Of active accounts. So, because I don't take on more than 60 at one time, and I typically only have like 55, 56. But I can tell you guys, Daniel's not the first one that told me about Equifax. Okay, so Fair Figure, a lot of you guys might have signed up for Fair Figure in the last 12 months, and you guys might complain the first couple months of problems like, oh, it's not reporting or the mapping's not right. Equifax is 20 years behind on their system. They're like 20 years behind. So, with that being said, and then you do data furnishing applications, it makes it 10 times worse. So, unless you have a go to contact at Experian or at Equifax, it's not an easy process by any means. But in short, as long as Daniel keeps reporting to Experian, I will do what I can to assist him with kind of fast tracking Dash Office Supplies being a data furnisher to Credit Safe and
That would be awesome. That would be excellent.
Equifax.
That would be
I
great.
can't do anything about
It's
Dun & Bradstreet because Dun & Bradstreet hates me, so I can't do
well,
anything about Dun & Bradstreet.
Dun and Bradstreet is they
But
have
they're
their own mentality
irrelevant.
about what they do, and they're just kind of their own entity. I don't. We may eventually apply to Dun and Bradstreet, but
It's
we
okay
applied.
looking for a marketing, like a marketing standpoint, if you're like Nav or Fair Figure, to be able to show that. But honestly, an 80 PAYDEX score and reporting to them, my used toilet paper means more than Dun& Bradstreet does. So
Yeah,
people need to not get hung up about Dun& Bradstreet.
the irony is there's another agency, another bureau out there, Cortera. It's now called Moody's Analytics.
Yeah.
Cortera Cortera actually used to be
Equifax is part owner of them.
well, they actually used to be a division of Dun Bradstreet.
Yeah, and
Way back when.
Equifax, one of
Yeah,
the divisions of Equifax acquired it about 2 years ago,
they
about 40%.
yeah, they spun off Cortera into its own freestanding business credit bureau, and ironically, Cortera actually has more reporting trade lines now than Dun and Bradstreet does. They're bigger in terms
Yeah,
of revenue
I
and in
mean,
many different milestones, but it's a fascinating landscape in business credit. It's been a real education. I got into this because of the frustrations of trying to figure out how to obtain business credit. And I thought,
mm,
I got to learn this. And in learning it, I learned just how easy it is to fall victim to so many of the people out there running businesses that claim to be reporting. They charge crazy fees, crazy prices, and they're not actually reporting. And it's almost impossible to prove that they're not reporting because of the rules and
it's not
policies of
federally
business credit.
regulated at all. It's not federally
Exactly. There's
regulated.
zero transparency. And by its
I've
own
been
admission,
stressing this out on, I have over 500 videos. I would say at least 250 of them. I've stressed this point out. And that's why so many people contact me, because like anybody can look up every public information about me. The only thing I don't publicly put out there is my social security number, my home address, business address. Anybody can look up anything. It's all public data. I have like nothing to hide. I mean, it's all
just
my
a few
cards
credit
here.
cards.
Like I've been through the ringer with everything. Okay.
You put my
But
collection to shame. I thought I had a lot until I saw those.
well, and I don't advise anybody to get as many cards as I did. I was the guinea pig. I don't have even my top VIP students doing what I did. Like I applied for every single possible application there is out there. But what good is having 120 business cards when 50, 60 of them are $1,000 to $6,000 limit? I much rather have 15 or 20 that have a limit of 10 to 100,000 limit than having 120. I mean, I literally have a full-time employee keeping track of all these cards,
Oh,
you
wow.
know.
The,
And
the
when I go
only
back to
the
the
only argument I
States,
would
I
make
will
in
be
favor
dealing with it, you know.
the only argument I would make in favor of having a couple of low limit cards is it gives you the ability to make purchases from a vendor you don't really know that you might be concerned about, because if they're fraudulent, they're not going to get a lot. So
Well, no, any of
I
these
do that in my
cards are
personal life. I have
all
a
these.
number of small low limit cards just for that reason.
No, all my cards, they're all like Blue Tarp, MSTS, Capital One. They're all like major banks, major financial institutions, Synchrony, you know, Macy's, Tiffany and Co. Like, even though some of these you don't really need for business, but there is a strategic method for each of them depending on what your goals are, you know. But you know what they almost all have in common? 90% of them don't report or don't check Dun Bradstreet
That's right.
anymore.
90%, and I want to underscore that 90% of companies out there that offer trade lines do not report to any credit bureau. They may be actually giving
None,
you a real trade
none,
line,
none,
but
none.
they don't report to anybody. And much of it has to do just with the complications of getting into the process of doing it. Others are concerned that they just want to keep their
No, I think
data
you're
private.
wrong there. I think you're wrong there. You're underscoring the scammers out there. There's dozens of these sites out there
Mhm.
that say they build business credit and they're offering these ebooks and these 10 times like light bulb you're charging $6 for, they're charging $44 for. And then they're just shipping it on demand as a gift through Amazon, FBA. Um, their whole site is all about building business credit. Do you see Uline or Granger when you go to their homepage? Is it talking about building business credit? No. So I'll call out those companies again: Business Credit Boost, Red Spectrum, Sima Office Supplies, Strategic Network Solutions. They're all scams. And if Joseph or Ian, any of you owners of those companies want to send me a defamation suit or something, go ahead. You guys know my information. Go ahead. You won't, because you guys know you're dishonest. That's all there is to it. And I've said this repetitively, and nothing happens because they're just taking advantage of the fact that business credit is not federally regulated. I wish it was, because if it was, you wouldn't have 50% of the videos that are out there right now pushing Red Spectrum and these nonsense. Like, there's no one like fact of, and it's supposedly you report your own business credit trade lines, and you pay $10 each to report those to their own bureau. But that own bureau, nobody uses. They probably don't even have one underwriter that uses them. So that's their compliance,
Yeah.
It's a bunch
And
of BS.
it's unfortunate. I think one of the latest ones that I saw a couple months ago was somebody doing net 30 trade lines for selling you coffee. And I'm thinking,
Selling what?
it's coffee, selling you ground coffee. And I can't find the link to it now. But it was a website doing coffee, selling you ground coffee. And it was really overpriced coffee. And I tracked down their offices, and they work out of a little strip shopping center in Florida. And I'm thinking,
Okay, it's funny you say Florida, because like 80% of all the starter vendors that NAV and all these companies are promoting, they're all out of Florida, and I think I know who it is. Like, if you sign up for the affiliate part, they'll probably go to post affiliates. If it goes to post affiliates, it's all the same. It's all the same person.
huh,
There's only two
pretty good enough.
major people in this game. And the reason they keep creating these different companies is because they get blacklisted by all the bureaus. So once they're blacklisted, then they put it in their brother's name, or they put it in their wife's name, or they put it in their kid's name. And they just keep doing that. And that's a way to keep getting these membership fees. So to repeat, Daniel does charge a membership fee. It's only $35. That's the lowest I've ever seen, but it actually reports to Experian. These others, that even if they do report to Equifax, fine. But I'll tell you, hands down, Experian trade line is way more valuable than an Equifax trade line.
Because the major banks and the major lenders are
Well,
pulling primarily from Experian.
all
Yeah,
financial institutions,
yeah,
even store
they're
cards,
leaning
they
very
only
heavily,
look
especially
at
states.
Experian.
Yeah,
What even doesn't even matter about that? Like, everyone
yeah.
knows, I've stressed it out. Like, if you're a financial institution, 99% of the time, the underwriter will only pull Experian with a backup. If your Experian file is, say, raw or bare, then they'll do maybe a secondary pull as credit safe. But no problem with that either, because credit safe actually invests a lot of money into LexisNexis data, so you shouldn't have anything to worry about unless you're being fraudulent. But if you're trying to get, say, no PG auto loan, equipment financing, then Experian is not going to help you, because Ally, Ford Motor Credit, Toyota, they don't pull Experian at all. For even Lowe's business card, even though it's underwritten through Synchrony, the Sam's Club No PG Business MasterCard also underwritten through Synchrony. The Sam's MasterCard is underwritten, and decisions is through Experian Business Credit. Floor and Decor, also underwritten through Synchrony. Lowe's as well, underwritten through Synchrony. The decision is 100% based on your Equifax and your Equifax only. So it's industry based. But 95% of the time, if you're trying to get a no PG business auto loan or a fleet of vehicles, you could have a great profile on Experian and not have much on Equifax, and that's why you're going to get denied. So that's why I always teach everybody, not just my mentorship students, but balance it all out. I don't over focus on Dun and Bradstreet. I mean, honestly, NAV, Fair Figure, eCredible, that's enough for Dun and Bradstreet to generate your profile. The two most important ones to focus on is your Experian, because I don't care what business you're in, Experian is the most important if you're trying to get financial credit, working capital, credit lines. You could actually have a 800 personal FICO score and have revenue, but if your Experian personal or Experian business credit is lacking trade lines and the right trade lines and the right mix accounts on Experian, then the KYC process, say done by Patriot Bank or Bank Corp US, they will deny just because there's not enough information that Experian business has on you. Just like the example of if you're trying to get an SBA loan. Well, SBA used to have a requirement where it's all based on Dun and Bradstreet around COVID time. But then in 2022, things kind of shifted. That's why Experian has the small business FICO score. So the small business FICO score with Experian is a combination of your overall Experian Intel score, the financial stability risk score that goes from 1 to 5. So those two scores are combined into an algorithm. I know the algorithm, but I'm not going to tell you guys because I don't want you guys to cheat in the system. But that's one part. But then the other part of the small business Experian FICO score on Experian is the owner's personal credit. So it's those three elements combined together. That's what makes up the Experian small business FICO score. And that's required to get an SBA loan. And that's what should be everybody's goal. If you're trying to get funding, even Daniel, for inventory, whatever, like SBA loans cannot be beat with any underwriter, period. I mean, you're talking 3 to 5%, 10, 20-year, 30-year repayment terms. It can't be beat, period. Anyways, I could ramble for hours about all this.
If I could, real quick, Josh, I'd like to come back to a point that you mentioned about Dash Office Supply, and that is the fact that we do charge a fee for our services.
Yeah, why don't you mention about the change? Just because some people that are viewing right now might be confused that they signed up when I did the interview with you and then the price change. Why don't you explain that? And then I think Derek asked about the minimum. If you can clarify also for the reporting, do they need to order, all that,
So let me cover.
I'll be right back. I'm going to let you talk though.
Yeah, let me cover the second topic first, and that's on ordering. As Josh will tell you, having trade lines report with zero activity on them really doesn't do much for your business credit score, because that's all they have to go on is what you've spent recently and how well you've repaid. So the more you actually use your trade lines, and I'm not advocating that you come to our site and buy $1,000 worth of stuff. You don't have to do that. But if you just make a periodic purchase, something that shows activity and payment history on your trade lines, that's what's going to help your trade lines improve your overall business credit score. So we always tell people we are always working on adding new products, things that are relevant to what you need for your business, everything from pens and paper to cleaning supplies. We're looking at adding things like coffee for your break room, maybe snacks for your break room. But the idea is to buy things that you are already consuming now in your business so that it would make sense to come to our site, use your trade line, get better pricing in the process, and build your business credit in the meantime. So uh, I'll leave it at that, and Josh can certainly talk to you more about the importance of using your trade lines. As far as our plans, we offer 2 plans. And before I get into that very quickly, the reason we charge for these is this is what enables us to keep our prices low because we are going to absorb losses. We're going to approve trade lines for businesses that just don't make it, or perhaps they're just not responsible with credit, and that's always going to happen. So by offering the plan and having a small fee, that helps us offset those losses and enables us to keep our pricing low. So we have 2 separate plans. The most basic plan is a business builder plan, and it's $10.99 a month for that plan. You can cancel anytime, no further obligation. The other plan is the business premier plan, and it charges you on a yearly basis. It's $109 a year, which actually saves you about $22 over the course of 12 months compared to the business builder plan. So it's a little bit of savings in there. You don't have to worry about any more payments for a year, and then it's just using and enjoying your trade line. Now, to answer the other question that Josh brought up, we did change our pricing. We lowered it because we recognize that we're in rather extraordinary economic times, and we know that there's a lot of uncertainty out there in the business world, especially, and we don't want to have a price that's so high that it keeps somebody from missing an opportunity that's going to help them build better business credit. So we did lower our prices quite a bit. We went from $21.99 a month on the builder plan down to $10.99, and we went from $179 a year down to $109 a year on the annual plan. And so we really hope that helps out the businesses that take advantage of our platform and use our services to save money and build business credit. So you can see there on your screen, and of course, coming to our website, you can take a look at the plans for yourself, what they offer. But either plan you choose, if you purchase $75 or more, you get free shipping on top of the savings. We do quarterly automatic credit reviews. So you may start out with, say, a $2,500 limit. 3 months down the line, if you've been making purchases and paying your bill on time, or better yet, early, we'll automatically increase your limits depending on where you are with things. So we really want this to work for you. We try to make it as flexible and as affordable as possible. And if there's anything there that you're reading that you're concerned on or confused on, by all means, send me an email, visit our Contact Us page, fill it out. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. But we certainly are low price compared to everybody else in the space that is offering reporting trade lines like this.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that I must note that it's a net 60. So that's almost unheard of. Like Newegg, I think it's the only one, but it's underwritten through MSTS. Other than that, I don't know of any other one that actually offers net 60. So that's very valuable because it's a different type of mix account that's being reported on Experian. So
it's a lot more risk on our part. And we really are. I mean, giving people 60 days to pay rather than 30, we're kind of extending ourselves out there a little bit in doing that.
Right,
So,
but I mean, people are trying to build their business credit. They don't care about how you feel. It's about what it means
of course not.
on the reporting side. But when you pull your Experian, if you have an Experian yearly business credit advantage account, you're going to see a net 60 under terms. It's always going to be net 30. So you're going to see it up there with the financial trades because net 30 is going to show down there with like Uline, what is it? The Incredible. All those are going to be your trade experiences. But how I came even across Dash is because one of my currently enrolled students for my one-on-one business credit mentorship, it was showing at the top under the financial trades. So financial trades, those are typically going to be major financial institutions. Not always, but 9 out of 10 times. If
Yeah,
it's
most of them are reporting
beyond
under SBME.
30, yeah, if it's reporting beyond 30 days, like 30-day terms, which they Dash does no 60. So you're going to see it at the top there. Above the, it's going to be the first thing. Above the Small Business Financial Exchange, but those are the ones that actually matter the most. That's going to impact, even though I don't care about scores. Scores don't mean anything, in my opinion. But it really does matter to have mixed accounts. You want to have a revolving net 30, net 60. It's a good mix. So if you don't have Dash and you're trying to get, say, no PG business funding, you'd be a fool not to sign up for Dash. Like literally, it's like he said, $35 and like $11 a month. That's a coffee at Starbucks or whatever. I mean, you'd be a fool not to do it. And then just order some products. I mean, you don't have to do it every month.
Nope.
Just order some products. He's not charging you 5 times the price of what you could buy on an Amazon. It's going to be competitive. That's the only reason I, started promoting Dash. If I knew and see the prices, if they were charging like CEO Creative and Crown Office Supplies and these other ones, they're ripoff. That's why you don't see me promoting any of those. I haven't promoting them since like 2020. So there's a reason for that, because it's not necessary, period. So, and I was supposed to go over several other things in this live, but I kind of had some personal issues I had to deal with. So I'll do another live tomorrow. But I was going to go over GrowG. They also report to Experian, and you guys need to sign up by tomorrow. I'll make a video tomorrow that will release the actually report to Experian as well. So definitely the link will be in the description below. You guys need to sign up right away for Dash, and you have nothing to lose. Like my top 5 that I'm going to say, if you're a brand new business or 20 years old: Nav, Incredible, Fair Figure, Dash, and GrowG. Those are the top 5 that I'm going to say as a brand new business owner. That's going to get you 5 Experian trade lines right off the bat, and they're all different dates. That's going to set your foundation up, not just Experian, but 4 out of the 5 report to others as well. So that's going to set you up for success. So you can get that JCPenney's card with Synchrony, and then the No PG ConocoPhillips card 2 weeks later. And probably 2-3 months later, you're going to be able to get a $10,000 to $20,000 Sam's Club No PG Business MasterCard. But you couldn't get that unless you have Dash. I can tell you that right now. I'm not saying Dash is going to be the one that's going to get you the approval. No, I'm not saying that. But that's just one stepping stone. You need that just sight unseen, without me seeing what your business is, what you have going for you, without me knowing all that context and that information. I can tell you those 5 you should have right away if you don't already have them. And then after you have those for a couple months and then you get denied for Sam's Club, then email me, support@joshvanhorn.com. And then maybe there's something like business information is unverifiable. Is that your denial reason? And that's probably because you're not in the Business National Telecom database. And I can help you with that. I already have many videos about how to do that. But a lot of people, they have selective hearing and they're lazy. But you guys can see the number below, 937-423-9954. just text me even tonight or anytime if you're interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship. We didn't really cover that, but you can. I have 3 spots open. But let's get back to the chat real quick. Ryan said something here. Do you want to go and answer this, Dan?
So Ryan asks, is there a minimum purchase amount to report? Absolutely not. Data furnishing requirements are that we have to report all active accounts regardless of status every month. So if you haven't made a purchase in the reporting cycle, then we simply report zeros. And I talked about it earlier. I'm sure Josh can talk about it as well, that having trade lines that report zero every month really doesn't do a great deal for your business credit. So you don't have to spend a lot just to show some activity. That's the goal. To show that you're making purchases, you're paying them on time, buy some paper, buy some pens, whatever makes you feel comfortable with that. But certainly don't go spending money that you can't afford. Don't go spending money that's going to take away from your business. Or that's absolutely not our goal. Our goal is to help you get the most for your money while helping you build business credit. So certainly there are no purchase limits, but at the same time, beware of trade lines that are constantly reporting zero.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've stressed this out probably over 100 videos. Like, if you have say 10, which I doubt anybody does have because there's not that many that actually report to Experian on these type of trade lines. It's very rare. It's mainly financial institutions, and a lot of them are PG. So it's not that easy to get Experian trade lines. That's why I'm telling you guys to get Dash, But with that being said, if you just get Dash and Uline and you don't utilize them and they're all Daniel's reporting zero and Uline's reporting zero, that's not going to help you by any means.
Nope.
In fact, it might hurt you if there's no usage. It might hurt you.
Well, it changes the category from a continuous trade, which is one that's had activity in the last few months, to an aged trade, which is basically considered a
Yeah, but
closed
not just that. But if you have a lot of accounts that are always zero and they're not being used, then it kind of shows the underwriters, because I have underwriter access on what the underwriters see beyond what even Dan you see as a data furnisher. It's completely different than what you see or what Experian Business Credit Advantage account sees. They don't see scores. Okay, they're not seeing that. They're seeing certain trade lines, but there's certain ones that are flagged as well. But if you have a whole bunch of trade lines that are not actively being used consistently, or do you guys think honestly that like these other so-called business credit experts on YouTube that keep telling you get as many trade lines as you can, and they've been feeding you guys this nonsense for so many years, and they still keep feeding it to you guys? But why do you guys keep getting denied for those prime accounts? Why? Because you're doing things the wrong way and you're trying to manipulate the system. And if you really think you can manipulate Experian or any bureau, you might be able to manipulate Dun Bradstreet because they're a joke. But if you really think you can manipulate these bureaus and these underwriters by just getting 10 of these trade lines and just doing the bare minimum, and then you expect to get 20, 30, 50, $100,000 credit line, like working capital or cash, this is not 2020 anymore. It's not going to happen. You won't even get $1,000, period. PG or no PG, it's not going to happen. And anybody can, I'll challenge anybody to prove me wrong for that matter. Trade lines don't help you if you're not doing things legitimately. So don't go out and get as many trade lines as you can that you're not going to use. There's no point in that. I'd much rather have 3 trade lines that I can use that can show at least once every 3 months I'm actually using them, rather than having 10 trade lines I'm not using at all and show no activity. Like, what good is 10 secured cards on your personal credit if you don't ever use them for 1 year? go try to get a mortgage. You're going to get denied. It doesn't matter if you have an 800 FICO score, you'll get denied because you're not showing any pattern that you know how to use the credit line. So you need to be showing, you could have 10 trade lines, but at least show 30% of those that you're using them and you're demonstrating that your company can pay them back.
Well,
and that's where we get into the mentorship. That's where, like, I guide you and I tell you what to do, when to pay, what to buy, all that, you know. But yeah,
one of the big factors is if you're not an SBFE data furnisher, small business financial exchange furnisher, then the bureaus don't even ask you for trade line limits. So what ends up happening is you look at your business credit report and you see your trade line and it's all zeros. They don't know what
limits aren't disclosed in business credit in general. Business,
yeah, they
Equifax
don't
and
show that
Credit
limit.
Safe.
Yeah, they don't show that limit.
I have Metro 2 format. I update it every month on the 28th and the last day of the month for Equifax and Credit Safe. There's no field for me to put a limit. I can't put a limit. Only the Small Business Financial Exchange can show that because that's Chase. Chase owns the Small Business Financial Exchange, same as American Express. There's like 30 financial institutions that they're all part owners in Small Business Financial Exchange.
So the bottom line,
other people that try to say, "Oh, we report to Small Business Financial Exchange," I would take that with a word of caution.
Absolutely not. They won't even return your emails. If you're not a lender, they won't even talk to you. You can't even get a response email to an inquiry.
I mean, you can. There's ways if you're a charter member, but it's like, it's not easy. No. Like, you're not going to have some site that, there's a couple that I've seen recently that say they report to a Small Business Financial Exchange, but they say they report under a different name. And again, when I see that, I actually send an email to Small Business Financial Exchange and report them because I want to make the data good, you know, if there's some scamming going on. Because you can go on Fiverr and get business credit trade lines, and just like authorized users, you can get them, but at the same time, you're committing fraud. Yep. And you could go to federal prison. The chances of that happening, you're probably better off your chances of winning the lottery than you'd get caught. But still, it's still illegal. But people still, I don't want to play with fire.
Yeah. I mean, the point that I was making to that, though, was that since we don't end up reporting the limit amount to the bureaus because they don't accept that data field, the only information they have to go off of in terms of scoring the quality of your individual trade lines is how much you're using them and how well you're treating them. So, which is why reporting all zeros doesn't help. You know, in personal credit, we're used to the idea that you're rewarded with a higher score for not using your credit because everybody knows what your limits are. They know how much you could charge and they know how responsible you're being with credit. They don't know that with your Uline account. They don't know that with your Granger account. It's a different story in business credit.
Yes and no. I would agree to disagree to a certain degree about that, because on the personal credit, you could be an 18-year-old and get 10 secured accounts, credit accounts on your personal credit. And they all report to the bureaus and you never use them. And they all have a limit of 1,000 or 10,000, doesn't matter. And you can have an 800 FICO score after about a year. Go try to actually get something worthwhile.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get denied because you're not demonstrating. So it's the same on the business credit. Like, you still have to show. It doesn't help to have accounts that you're not using. Yes, if you have a Navy Federal $30,000 personal credit card on your personal credit, if you never used it, it's not going to really help you. It's actually probably going to hurt you. It'll help your overall utilization. It will help that.
Well,
But
anymore they'll just start closing the accounts out after so long of inactivity.
right.
they
But
just
my
tell you
point
too bad,
is
card's
like
gone.
if you're trying to get like $100,000, $200,000 mortgage loan, they're going
Yeah,
to look at your accounts. They don't want to see okay every month.
yeah,
They're going to, just because it's zero balance, you have a $20,000 limit. If you're not using it, that actually scares underwriters. They
yeah,
want to see you using it. They just don't want to see you maxing it out. That's all.
right.
And that's where
Very
the
true.
small business financial exchange comes in. And that's the only element of business credit that actually does matter, because it actually shows limits. Beyond that, limits aren't disclosed to Experian, Equifax, Credit Safe, and Dun Bradstreet. The limits aren't disclosed at all. Unless it's an installment loan, it's going to obviously show. If you have a $50,000 loan, it's going to show how much you have left to pay. That's why I tell everyone, avoid that whole credit strong secure loan. That's a scam too. That's actually going to hurt you. It's okay if you start your business and you're not trying to get business funding for the next 12 months, then Credit Strong could help you. But if you're trying to get business credit right now and you go and get that Credit Strong, that's going to hurt you. I have several students, I had them cancel that. They get denied because of that Credit Strong
Because you got
secure
a high
loan.
debt load. Because you got a high debt load. They're looking
Exactly.
at that
Yeah,
going, holy crap, this guy's
exactly.
saddled with
Because
$40,000 in
they're
debt
not
right now.
seeing that it's secured. They're not
No,
seeing that what type of account it is. It's
no.
just the overall picture, and you
Yep.
can't really justify that unless you have 10 other accounts to kind of balance it out.
Well,
But if you only
especially if
have
you're a
that
new
and three
business.
other accounts, it
Especially if you're a
hurts.
new business, you just opened your business in December of 2024, and suddenly you've got a $50,000 credit strong loan showing up. That starts looking a little suspicious.
Well, I had one student, literally, she got denied for J.C. Penney's 2 times in a row. Her business credit is good and everything, but scores don't matter at all, like I've always preached. But I told her to cancel it after she became a mentorship student. She canceled it, and they report on the 26th of every month. Credit Strong does. It's Cross River Bank. It's like who the underwriter is through, even though it's not really underwritten because it's secure. So they update on the 26th. And then on the 2nd of that following month, I had her reapply because she got denied for American Express Gold Card. Her credit's good, and she has personal American Express cards, but she got denied 1 week prior because of that. I know it's that. That wasn't the reason that they gave, but I know that was the reason, because literally once she closed that account and it's no longer showing there, it shows that it's closed. It's no longer showing 34,000 debt. She was approved, no pre-set spending limit, literally a week after she closed it, and it reported. So
It's a tricky
don't
thing.
believe in all
Business
these
credit
like
is tricky.
things. Not just that, but everyone, even on the personal side, they want to go get self and Credit Strong and rent reporting and stuff. Those things are okay. The self credit builders are okay getting one or two. Once you start doing all of them, only thing you're showing to American Express, US Bank, Bank of America, you're showing them that you don't know how to handle money. That's all you're doing. You're showing that you're a fool. That's all you're doing.
Yep.
It's going to be used against you for the next 20 years. So stay away from the credit builder accounts. One or two is okay. But if you have nothing but this credit builder accounts on your report on the personal side, you're never going to get any real credit lines. You're going to be stuck at that 1 to 2,000 limit, Capital One. You're never going to get anything worthwhile. And when I say worthwhile, I'm saying 10 to 30,000 limit. My lowest limit's like 12,000 for name my cards on the personal side. The average is like 26. So don't take a hard inquiry. unless you actually have to. But I sure the hell wouldn't take it for a Capital One card that's going to pull all 3 bureaus. But that's a whole nother subject matter. But anyways, any final closing remarks that you want to make there, Dan?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to speak to your audience tonight. Again, if you have any questions on anything that we haven't covered here, visit our site, go to our contact us page, post us a message. We'll get back to you on it. And, we wish you the best of luck in your business credit journey. And I'm telling you now, Josh is just an enormous source of great information. So it's well worth your time to keep watching his videos and applying what he helps you with. So thank you so much, Josh. Have a good night, sir.
And I'm going to pin in the comment section for the replay. I will pin, I don't know why it just disappeared here, but I'm going to pin the website here. You guys go and sign up. I don't know why it's blank now, but it's just a little glitch.
Stupid technology.
But, yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'll pin it, you guys. Until next time, you guys take care. If any of you guys are interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship, just text 937-423-9954. Day or night, just text, and we can go from there to schedule a consultation. Thanks, Daniel, for coming on. Tomorrow, I will release another video that's kind of breaking all this down about Dash office supplies. If you guys don't have Dash, go ahead and sign up. You have nothing to lose, period. And Dan will take care of you by any means. Okay?
Thank you so much, Josh. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Till next time, you guys take care. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next videos. Bye-bye.